what, that whenever I introduce myself, the audience responds, so what. So my name's Marc Smith.
So what?
And I started that just so I would remember always that, I am no different than the person in the audience. And that's a big thing that makes the slam different than the poetry readings that preceded it and some of the readings that are out there now. Because when I started out, all poetry readings, the poet was the big shot on the stage, and he was either smarter or more mystic or something more than the audience, and it was bullshit. Just because an artist has a particular talent doesn't make him any better than the plumber who has a particular talent doing good plumbing. So, I always want to remember that. And it's the 25th anniversary year of the slam. 25 Rather than travel around I've been traveling around the world to my friends in Germany and France and Switzerland. I love these people, and I go there quite often. But this year I'm going around to the slams to see the slams in America. And I just happen to be a feature because he didn't have a feature. Otherwise, I'd just sit in it. That's why I'm sitting with him. I'm just trying to observe to see what things are like in the States. And one thing that I try to point out when I go to places that spiel that the PSI put in there is wrong. Poetry slam is not competitive poetry. Poetry slam is performance poetry. That's what I started years ago, before there was ever a competition. At the Get Behind, we were performing. And that was the big key to what made this movement start, was that we, rather than be the way all the poets did it, we took performing seriously as an art. So poetry slam, the proper definition is the remarriage of the art of performance with the art of writing. There are two, as you saw tonight, there are two forms. There are two art forms. You need to be proficient at both. The person that gets proficient at performing and is saying nothing, not good. The person that's writing the text and everything and then gets up on the stage and blah, 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 without any performance, not good. You want to have the best possible text with the best possible performance. That's what poetry slam is all about. I'm not going to talk like a professor all the time. I'm kind of on a mission because I started something and it started to work, and it worked for several years in Chicago before it started to be exported around the country, and there were certain principles that made it work. And when those principles get thrown out, things start to die. They start to decline. One thing that people make fun of in Chicago is the tough rules, and the audience participation, positive and negative. I think it's wrong for the slam movement to always be cheering stuff without reacting the other way, because you deny the artist's courage to take negative response, and you never grow. Anybody who's been out there working as an artist and a writer know that they grew more from hearing people tell you that it wasn't good. Chuck Perkins, I think some of you know, he sat on the stoop of my house in Berwyn, and he said he wanted to hear me say, oh, how great that poem was, and I told him, Chuck, you got a bunch of cliches in here, it's not very good. And to this day, he'll get on the stage and he will say, that's the great moment in my life. So, I think you all should stop cheering when you don't mean it. If it's not honest, don't do it. If you honestly, everybody saw one of the most honest moments tonight that guy did. Nobody cheered. You know why? Because it was the true thing. Everybody just, oh my God, these girls were crying. And then everybody started heartfully applauding. And you meant it. You know, I don't want to rain on anybody's parade. It's good to cheer and goof around and do all that shit, everything. But you gotta be careful that you're not bullshit yourself, because when you get a bunch of people that are not part of the slam family and haven't been around, and they're coming for the first fucking time, and they see you cheering a bunch of bullshit, they get up and they walk fucking out. The father is fake. What he was crapped out. Now under the altars the deacons roll the no-come line, snapping the cubes against the green cloth room, betting that there ain't no salvation. Father is fake. And the player's head is fallen. The last whispers off his promised two lips. The faint vespers in his glory be eyes. The could-be points of paradise, as lastly he looked up, are gone. The Father's fate. The words spoken. Knocks on wood. Lets evil in through the back door with Daddy Joe Crow playing hardcore, no four cops the action in the blue smoke light of the hidden statue. The words spoken. And when all the neighborhood boys are dealing down that dirty, oblivious to who. While all the neighborhood boys are dealing down that dirty, the A number one kingpin comes hopping off a boxcar. Now as he come back, maybe Judgment Day, to double cross the daddy, as he come back snapping like a rooster rapping, find me you honeycomb 11. As he come back blowing, Papa knows, Papa knows, Papa knows you throw sevens every time. As he come back, maybe, preacher smile, evil grins. The rat pulls in the dice, a loaded pair drops. Now the kingdom's got to come on phony bones. Toss the dice, Daddy! Father, you know, we all need some. You know, half the time we don't know what we're doing. You know, there are millions of us doubtful characters drifting in the shadow-packed sunlight of the fragmented sky. Father, don't forget us. Don't let us go. Don't forget. Little Joe, little Joe, little Joe, little Joe. The spirit flies. A long finger comes out of the clouds. Smooth as ash into the green felt. A miracle! Double loose, cries the crow, scratching up the dollars, stuffing his pants. Then Eagle shouts. Cops at the corner run. Fast blades cut the shadows. Blood pools on the green floor. Lightning, black alley dust, vanishing moon. Pizza scats in a blue feet rush. 2, 3 boxcars, roll away red. Father hangs in the doorway, and death coughs up his blood. Quickly, the preacher grabs a passing ladder, climbs a few rungs, sighs at the engine's tune, humming, snake eye, snake eye. Father